Now, you'd be excused for thinking the greatest star the world has ever known was in town this week. Such was the adulation and adjuration heaped upon them. OK. She's cooler than an icebox, classier than a catwalk full of models, and sassier than the hipster dude on the planet. She's been a loyal wife to her husband, stepped up to be the breadwinner so he could enter politics, and seems to have pulled off the near impossible by raising 2 daughters to become well-adjusted, grounded young women, despite growing up in a goldfish bowl world of unwavering inspection. But as supporters swoon and say she empowers women, is the perfect role model and campaigner, the deification continues. But what has this person actually achieved? I've absolutely no problem with this, but much of the world loves Michelle Obama because she's black.
Oh,
Fact,
my God.
the first black First Lady in the White House. Good luck to her. But let's get real. Plenty of other First Ladies have been doughty campaigners. This seems to be her biggest achievement.
Well, I mean, before I let rip, which I will, I have to show you.
Ah, what have we got here?
Very proud of myself.
And this was her show at the...
You had 2 tickets,
Two
didn't
tickets.
you?
Why didn't you take me?
A sold-out show this week in
What did you
London.
learn from going to her show?
I learned a lot, but I'm
Please
not going
tell
to talk about the
Okay.
show. I'm going to talk about Michelle Obama herself. And clearly, you are no student of history. And I have to say, as a black woman, I'm completely offended that you think the reason that she's so
I hope I haven't
popular-
offended you. I haven't set out to offend you.
No,
It's a
I
discussion.
know you haven't, but I'm just telling you. So if you look at First Ladies, if you look at the First Ladies that have been America's most beloved First Ladies, we'll start with Dolly Madsen, who's the one who actually created the role of First Lady. And at the time, you know, women were second-class citizens, and she created a role for the wife, for the spouse of the president. And then if you look at the other 2, Eleanor Roosevelt and Jackie O, the ones that people have loved the most are white. They were not just loved because clearly they were not black.
Sure.
But you've got to look at why people love them. So with Eleanor Roosevelt, she was somebody that was able to connect with the poor.
Yeah.
She was the one that was able to take messages back to her husband that influenced the New Deal. If you look at Jackie O, she brought a certain level of style to the White House and changed the way that America saw itself and the way the world saw America.
I'm not saying everyone loves Michelle. Everyone loves Michelle.
I would say that Michelle Obama is a unique combination of those 2 women, which is why people love her so much.
love her. I've not said they
because
don't.
she has the depth of Eleanor Roosevelt.
Can we talk about,
and the style of
achievement?
Jackie O.
Achievements don't have to be physical. They can affect a change.
Although she's got great upper arms.
Yes.
In a country or in the world. Now, I think her and him being in the White House gave lots of black people in America hope for their lives.
Not just black people.
No, but let me say
were
this.
inspirational.
Okay, I'm sure, but
I
let me
will
say,
tell you
he's
if
talking
it's
about that
lots
she's
of
popular
black
because she's
people,
black.
as a black
It also
person.
meant there were fewer obstacles in the way of black people and more possibilities were opened up. And I think it also confirmed deep-seated truths about things like black excellence, about humanity, about love. Because remember Election Day in 2003? Remember? I remember clearly. And you say it's not about black people. It was. But on the television, black men and women were interviewed, and I don't think I've ever seen that kind of ecstasy at any election in my life before. They felt massive hope because they were there. And I think that is their achievement.
OK,
No,
great.
I disagree.
Let's get you back in, but let's get the others first.
I don't think I agree with you.
I'm asking for her achievements.
Yes.
I love the woman. She's fantastic.
I think
of course.
her greatest achievement is she's authentic. That people that's what she is. That's who she is. She brought up her kids. She admits in the book that she and Barack haven't always had the best relationship and all that sort of stuff.
Much like you and Carol.
Yes. I don't think our marriage would last long.
10 minutes.
If you saw her do with James Corden, saw her doing karaoke carpool,
and she was
brilliant.
She was. I'm being misrepresented here.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not
Yeah,
saying.
let Rachel.
Clearly, she got some publicity by being the first black lady. There's no doubt. Black first lady.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that at all. But she is
she's so much
something.
more than
She
that.
is something special.
Well,
can I have a go?
Let Rachel, and then
I think
I'll tell you the actual
I think
achievements.
that This is a classic example of the male gaze at a female, and you're not taking into account all these sort of unpaid emotional labour of the woman's role. And now I'm going to move on to Michelle Obama. Okay. She took the back seat. She was the home, all of the rest of it. In the White House alone, she started a number of important nationwide campaigns.
Other First Ladies?
Yes, but still she did it. But she has been an advocate for all women, not just black women. Precisely. For example, when Trump won the White House, or was trying to get into the White House, and said, with women, you just grab them by the you-know-what. Let's hear what she had to say then.
This was not just a lewd conversation. This wasn't just locker room banter. And I feel it so personally. And I'm sure that many of you do too, particularly the women. The shameful comments about our bodies, the disrespect of our ambitions and intellect, the belief that you can do anything you want to a woman. It is cruel. It's frightening. And the truth is, it hurts.
I think you can feel the sincerity in her voice.
All women resonated with that.
Can I just...
All I asked was her achievement.
Name check. Can I name check? One, she has written a book that has sold 2 million copies to date, but on its first day of publication, 725.
Well, let's get J.K. Rowling to be president.
Let me go for the actual achievement.
That's an achievement.
Now that we found it. Now we found it. I take it all back.
Let me go for the actual achievements. So in 2010, she launched Let's Move, the campaign, which has to date managed to get over 45 million young people eating healthily in America and actually exercising.
Because it's a healthy country.
And tackling the childhood obesity rates. Then in 2011, she established the Joining Forces programme. This has been phenomenal. It's managed to get 1.5 million ex-vets into work and their families.
That's brilliant.
Then we have the Reach Higher initiative, which was to inspire young people across America to carry on with their education past school.
Okay.
And then in 2015, the Let Girls Learn campaign, and this has been a phenomenal initiative, helping girls around the world stay in school.
Other First Ladies have had great campaigns as well about addiction, about education, and so on and so forth.
But it is interesting because the Let's Move, and particularly the military veterans campaign, has had...
Ford worked really hard.
It's interesting that there was a piece of the New York Times last week, and she's got a portrait in the portrait gallery now, and there was a load of young girls and women standing around it, and they were going, oh, God, she's inspirational, she's wonderful, she's this, she's that. The reporter asked them why they thought she was all of those things and what she had done that inspired them, and they couldn't tell her.
Well,
that's, I think, what you're getting at.
Yeah. But
that's what he's getting at.
Yeah, $35 million advance.
Can we show a quick video of her at the South Bank when I had my tickets?
We must hear from Greg.
Let's have a look.
My mother would always tell me, I'm raising adults, I'm not raising babies. So her philosophy was that we could understand a lot if she took the time to explain it. So it was never speak only when spoken to. She encouraged us to let our voices be heard. And I talked about this earlier today when I was with the girls at the Elizabeth Garrett Anderson School, which we had a wonderful time. One of the things that my parents believed was that my voice was relevant and my opinions were meaningful. And my anger and frustration was real.
She is an example of excellence for everyone, men and women. You could learn a thing or two.
I'm sure. Although what's quite interesting is there was a poll done by YouGov of the world in Britain of the world's most admired women. She only came second.
Who came first?
Angelina Jolie.
What has she ever done?
When was that?
Can I tell you, very, very briefly, I had June on my LBC radio show. We did the same thing. And then, were you listening? And then all the listeners piled in. I reckon I lost by about 15 to 1. And at the end, I said this, just because June's right, it doesn't make her a better person.
And you've lost 4-1 here. So,
Exactly.